Welcome to a good old-fashioned empties video. I've got a bunch of products, mostly makeup, that I have completely gone through, and I'm gonna give you kind of my mini speed reviews. Will I repurchase them? Or were they so terrible that I didn't even really get to finish them completely? Because there are some of those as well. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Rachel, and if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. Let's get to all the things that I've got in front of me, and I'm gonna tell you my true feelings on them. Now, I will tell you, I hardly ever do these types of videos because literally the last 2 times I've tried to film them, I've filmed it, I've thrown the stuff out, and then when I go to edit the video, either my mic wasn't on or something was off with the filming. So this is literally the 3rd time I'm trying to film an empties video, and I will not throw these things out till I know the footage is good. Maybe that's a sign. So let's start with some skincare stuff first. So I went through an entire little jar of the Patchology Flash Patch, that's hard to say, Flash Patch, Rejuvenating Eye Gels. I did get this from the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. They're just those little gel eye patches that you put on underneath your eyes, obviously, eye patches. I honestly always have some form of these in my rotation. I keep them in my refrigerator because I have super puffy eyes, especially if I had a drink the night before or I'm feeling a little bit dehydrated. My eyes do severely puff. So I love putting these on in the morning, either while I'm doing my makeup or before I'm gonna do my makeup, just to depuff my eyes. And it's just like a spa experience. But these ones did tend to kind of fall down and slide down my face. So that's not my favorite thing. Most of these types of patches tend to do that, but I will say that my favorite ones that I feel like don't move because they're not as gooey and slimy are the Peter Thomas Roth Vitamin C ones. They are pricey, that's the only problem. So I always like to try out some affordable versions just to see if they're as good. These ones were okay. I don't think I would repurchase them. They're not bad, but they just, at least on my face, they slide right down. So, but overall, they were fine. All right, I went through another one of the Kinship Super Mellow Hydrating Gel Creams. So I've gone through several of these. I actually did repurchase this, and I've repurchased it many times, but I am taking a break from it because for a while, my skin has been breaking out really, really bad. And so I've kind of taken away almost every single product that I've been using and slowly starting to introduce products back into my routine. And honestly, my skin's been pretty good the past week or 2. I even went yesterday without wearing foundation and just spot concealing. I can't even tell you the last time that happened. It's been a long time. So I don't know if this is breaking me out, but I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared to try it. So I won't be using this right now, but I would say that if you're not super sensitive like me and you have normal to oily skin, this is a really good thin gel cream that still provides hydration. It's not like one of those gel creams that you put on and then it's evaporated. You know, there's still some sort of moisturizing property to this. I just am not gonna use it right now. All right, and then I went through a travel size, which is a pretty large travel size of the Kopari Ultra Restore Body Butter with hyaluronic acid. I did buy this because I saw Jamie Page Beauty talk about it on her channel. It's a body butter. I've tried their lip glossy balm and I really liked it. Their thing is they do a lot of coconut oil, coconut scented stuff. Now this has a coconut scent, but I think it smells like if they made coconut Play-Doh. This is what I imagine it would smell like. So it's not the best smelling, but I'm glad I got a mini because if I'd gotten the full size, I definitely would have regretted it. I'm not gonna repurchase this. The thing that I don't like the most about it though is the texture. It's one of those ones that you put on and you have to literally rub it for a good 15 to 20 seconds before it disappears into your skin, and ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay, I'm impatient. I like a body butter that I rub 3 times, it's sunk into my skin. My favorite body butter of all time is the Josie Maran Argan Oil Body Butter. I just get the unscented version. I literally am obsessed with that stuff, and I know a lot of content creators say I'm obsessed. I'm literally obsessed. I just am.
No, I don't think you understand. I'm obsessed.
But it's expensive. So if I can find a more affordable version, I would love that. This is just not it. I don't like the texture. I don't like the smell. Okay, now the rest of the stuff that I have is makeup related, so let's get to it. So I went through an entire one of the Becca Under Eye Brightening Correctors in Fair to Light, or this is Light to Medium. This was before they went out of business. I bought this one. But I think now it's Fair to Light, the color that I use. Now, I've been using this for years. It's a great under eye corrector if you have dark circles like me. But I will say, I have another one of these. Like, I bought a couple of backups when they were going out of business. I believe this is the second one that I've gone through completely. And I have the other one, but I've not really been using it recently because I've really been enjoying the e.l.f. Camo Color Corrector. I much prefer the texture of that one because I have very crinkly under eyes. I have a lot of fine lines, and this is very, very, very emollient, and I feel like it doesn't really give a great base for my concealer. Like, it's too emollient, if that makes sense. I never knew that that was how I felt before until I got this new e.l.f. one, and now I don't know if I can go back to this because I really like the e.l.f. one a lot. Now, I will say the e.l.f. peach colored one is a lot darker than this one, so that's kind of unfortunate. Like, if you're very fair, the e.l.f. one might be a little too deep for you, but for me, it works great. I've really been enjoying it, so I'm gonna use up the other one that I bought of this, but I don't know that I would repurchase it, especially because this is way more expensive than the e.l.f. one. I went through an entire travel size of the Urban Decay All Nighter. I have to repurchase this. I rarely wear setting spray, rarely. I really only wear it on like special occasions, like dance competitions. I do teach ballroom dancing, I do compete. So when I am doing a dance competition, I put this on my face so that I know it's not going anywhere through sweat. And I do really feel like it works very well. But on a normal day, I don't use it. I don't really think to use it. I don't feel like I need to, but I am getting married in May and I definitely want to have this for my wedding. This one or the Charlotte Tilbury one I've heard great things about. So I might buy a small version of the Charlotte Tilbury one as well to test out. I don't know, what do you think? If you've tried both of these, which one do you prefer? I've got two lash primers. So the Grande Lash Primer is, I've actually used this one up all the way, and then I got the Joa Lash Up Rising Boosting Primer. This one is a declutter. Like, I've not used it up all the way, but I don't want it anymore. So let's start with the Grande Primer from Grande Lash. So my favorite lash primer of all time that is no longer available, and it breaks my heart, is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Primer. That was just the ultimate primer for me. It gave my lashes a little oomph so that I could build mascara on top of it. I've got really sad, sparse lashes that grow literally straight down, and I need something that lifts them and gives them a little bit of volume. And the Marc Jacobs one doesn't exist anymore, obviously, because they're not a beauty brand anymore. So I decided to try this one from Grande. At first, I wasn't crazy about it because I don't love the wand. It's just like a straight, skinny wand with plastic bristles. But actually, the more that I used it, and just like with most mascaras, I feel like you need to break them in a little bit, let them dry out just a little bit. And with time, I actually have really enjoyed this lash primer. I have another one going right now, but I would definitely consider repurchasing this one in the future because I actually did really enjoy it after the initial like couple of weeks of opening it. But on the other hand, this one from Joa, no. Now, I like the shape of the wand. It actually reminds me of the Marc Jacobs with that hourglass shaped wand, but there's just way too much product that comes out on this, and it's way too wet and goopy and thick. I want a lash primer that when I put it on, it'll end up kind of drying down a little bit so that when I put my mascara on, it just gives a little grit to my lashes, if that makes sense. This one just is really, really wet and goopy, and it really never dries down enough for me to put my mascara on top of this. And I've had this open for probably about a month now, and it's not getting any better. So I don't recommend this one. I don't really like it. I've been using the one from Pacifica, which is kind of the same situation as the Grande one. At first, I was like, it's fine. But the more that I'm using it, I actually am enjoying it. So anyway, wouldn't recommend this Joa one though. On that same vein, I have the Milani Highly Rated Anti-Gravity Mascara. So I feel like with mascaras, there's always new ones coming out. And this used to be one of my favorite mascaras. It did make my favorite makeup products of 2022, but I don't really like this anymore. I feel like it's just way too voluminous, and I have about 6 lashes on each eye, and it makes it so clumpy that each one pairs up together that I have 3 lashes, like 3 big lashes on each eye. So it's not the look I'm going for. I much prefer the Tartelette tubing mascara. That is like my favorite mascara of the moment. It makes my lashes look voluminous without clumping them together. It gives a lift. It lasts all day. I know it's more expensive than this Milani one, but I've not been a fan of this lately and I won't be repurchasing it. Speaking of the Tartelette tubing mascara, I've already just told you how I feel. I did actually get this little sample from Sephora or Ulta or something, and I used it up completely. It's so good. It's so good. And it's a tubing mascara, so it really doesn't flake or smudge. I don't really usually have a problem with smudging, but I do sometimes have a problem with flaking if the mascara is super dry. This just lasts really well. It makes my lashes like stand up, which is the most important thing to me personally. It's a really beautiful mascara. I absolutely love it. And I did repurchase a full size. Many of these are disappointments. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be negative. Okay, I went through an entire brow pencil. This is the Patrick Ta Major Brow Defining Pencil in medium brown. So I think this is an interesting brow pencil. The shape of it is very, how do I describe it? Like an oval shape, like long and an oval. You know what an oval is. Which at first was kind of hard to get used to. Like I'm just used to having a very fine tip point on a pencil. But I actually quite liked this for drawing strokes. Like it's kind of that shape where it's already up and down and you can really line the bottom. It's quite a nice pencil. You know, it's Patrick Ta, so it is a little pricier. So I don't know that I would go out of my way to repurchase this unless it was on sale or it was like the Sephora VIB sale or something like that. I really like the NYX Micro Brow Pencil from the drugstore, and that one's like $10, $11, you know? And I think this one's about $30 or maybe just under $30. So I don't think it's personally worth it, but it's not bad. It's a good brow pencil. Just there are ones that I like that are more affordable. I went through an entire NYX the Marshmallow Primer, and I did end up repurchasing a full size because I love this primer. I've talked about it so many times on my channel, but I'll just give you the quick rundown. I think it's a really nice, slightly moisturizing primer, not overly moisturizing, but it gives your skin a little refresh. It smells really nice, and it provides almost like a smoothing base for your foundation or whatever you're gonna put on top. I really have enjoyed this, and I'm not a huge fan of most primers, but I found that I loved using this one when I would put my skincare on in the beginning of the day, and then by midday, if I was going to do my makeup, I would just put this on as a refresher, and I really enjoyed it, and I did repurchase a full size. And I went through an entire ColourPop lippy stick in the shade BFF. It is just my perfect nude. It's a warm nude that is pretty much my lips, but better. I really have loved this lip pencil for a really long time. I have a couple of backups, to be honest with you, and they're just very, very creamy. They're not the longest lasting lip liners in the world, but when you find a color that's like your lips, but better, you know what I mean? It's a staple. I feel like I can just wear this underneath any nude lipstick and it looks great. So highly suggest this one. They do also have BFF2 and BFF3 that go slightly deeper if you have a deeper skin tone. This is beautiful. And they sell it at Target now. All right, another lip product I have is the LA Girl Lip Oil. And this one is in the scent Sheer Watermelon. Now the smell is so good. It literally smells like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. Exactly, spot on, which who doesn't love that? Right? I will say, this doesn't have a lot of product. Like I went through this very fast, but okay, it's very affordable. But it also does not stay on my lips very long at all. It is extremely oily, extremely. It's like you're literally putting coconut oil on your lips. Like very, very oily. There's almost no like, what's the word I'm looking for? Viscosity, maybe? That's, you know, giving it something to hold onto your lips. It's a very thin lip oil, okay, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't last very long on the lips, but the scent is really, really, really good. I won't be repurchasing it. Okay, I talked about these in a recent speed reviews, but this is a declutter. Like I haven't finished these, but I don't want them anymore because they suck. These are the Covergirl Ink It Eyeliners. I have black ink and cocoa ink. These are just like gel eyeliners for the waterline. I was in Alabama for a dance competition and I had forgotten pencil eyeliner. Like I didn't pack one in my bag, which is, what was I thinking? And so I had to go to Walgreens. That was the only thing that was around me, and I had to find a black and a brown eyeliner just to get me through. So I just decided to pick these up from Covergirl, just take a chance. They are terrible. They're some of the worst pencil eyeliners I've ever used. I went to go put this in my eyeliner and like nothing happened, and I was rubbing, and then I warmed it up on the back of my hand, and then like I went to go do it again and like tiny bit came out. I mean, I had to go back and forth 100 times. And then finally, when I got it to show up, I blinked 3 times and it was gone. I don't suggest these. I really don't. If you have a suggestion, like I really like at the drugstore, I like the LA Girl eyeliners, but they don't have LA Girl at Walgreens. So I was kind of at a loss of what to get. So I don't suggest these. I'm gonna get rid of them. Speaking of eyeliners, I kind of went through a NYX Epic Ink Liner. So I really like this eyeliner. It's one of my favorite black liquid liners at the drugstore. It's a brush tip, which I absolutely love. And it's very similar in performance to the KVD Tattoo Liner, which is my favorite eyeliner. I think I'm just gonna go back to purchasing that, because I feel like the KVD one lasts forever. And I don't mean like on the eye, although it does last forever on the eye, but the tube of it lasts forever. This one is starting to get to the point where, like, you know when you're writing and you feel like your pen is about to explode because so much ink is coming out, and then you just like toss it in the garbage and you're scared it's gonna get all over your hands? That's kind of what's happening with this. The last couple of times I tried to use it, my wing just got so out of control and thick because so much product is starting to come out of the tip that it's very hard to control. So I'm gonna get rid of this. I am gonna go get the KVD one soon, but this is a good one from the drugstore if you're looking for it. Now, it has lasted me quite a, see already, it's starting to bleed on me. Send help. It's a good one from the drugstore. Just know that it's not gonna last forever, but it's still a great liquid liner. I have the NYX Thick It, Stick It Thickening Brow Mascara. I have mine in the shade Cool Ash Brown. So this, it has dried out, basically. I didn't end up using it all, but I've used it quite a lot. I don't really love this. I feel like a lot of product comes out onto the wand, like a lot. The wand is also quite big. Now I have quite large brows, so it's fine. I think if you have thinner brows, I don't know how this is gonna work out for you. And it has little fibers, so it is supposed to kind of build thickness. I think it's fine. I don't think it has great hold. Like, I want a hold that's almost like cement, like it stays. This isn't giving me that. And the color Cool Ash Brown is a little too light for my brows, which is surprising because I do use ash brown in the NYX pencil. So just be aware the shades run a little light. It's fine, I'm not gonna repurchase it. I like the e.l.f. tinted brow gel and I like the Essence tinted brow gel. Those are both really good ones from the drugstore, but this one, not my favorite. My all-time favorite lashes, I did go through quite a few of these, but I just saved one to talk about. These are the Unearthly Cosmetics lashes in the style Intangible. They are so beautiful. I'll try to find a clip of me wearing them. I'm not wearing them today. They are just the most long and wispy lashes. They're very long, but they're not super thick and voluminous, so you can see your eyeshadow through them really beautifully, because I work really hard on blending my eyeshadow. I want the world to see it. These are also so incredibly easy to apply. Some of the easiest lashes to apply. They hold their shape beautifully, but they're not stiff. They're incredibly lightweight, and they're $6.50. Some of my favorite lashes, honestly, that I've ever tried. I do have a code with Unearthly Cosmetics. It's Rachel if you want to save 10% off. It is affiliated, so thank you so much if you do decide to use it. But they have so many styles, and I've tried quite a few styles from the brand, and all of the styles that I've tried have been really nice, easy to apply. Like I've said, they last a long time, but these ones in particular, Intangible, are my favorite. Okay, so I have 2 foundations that one that I'm decluttering and one that I've pretty much used up. It's going bad, so it's time for it to go. So the first one is the NYX Bear With Me Blur Tinted Foundation in Vanilla. I hate this foundation. If you've seen some of my videos the past couple of months, you know, I just really did not like how this looked on my skin. First of all, the color is way too light. And looking in the bottle, it looks darker than it does when it's applied to the face. So just be aware of that. It just is way too light. And it just looked cakey, and it sat on top of my skin. It never looked smooth. It says blur. It didn't blur anything for me. It actually created new texture that I never even knew I had. it wore off on me really badly. No, it's going. One foundation though that I really enjoy, but I've had it for a really long time, and looking in the bottle, it's time for it to go. This is the Milani Screen Queen Natural Finish Foundation in the shade 260 Warm Bisque. This is a really nice natural finish, like it says. Not super dewy, but not matte. Really good in-between texture. It's a little thicker of a texture, but I feel like it gives a really nice smooth look to the skin. It's more of a medium to full coverage. This is kind of hard to find. I know it is available, but it's hit or miss where you can find it. If I can find it, I will link it down below. I'll link everything down below, by the way, that I can find. This color, Warm Bisque, is a little orange on me, but I make it work. But I do really like this foundation. It's very creamy. It's easy to blend. I'm not going to repurchase it right now because I have quite a few foundations, but I would consider repurchasing it because I do really like it a lot. All right, last but not least, I have 2 eye primers to talk about. So this one is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion Anti-Aging. It is my favorite eyeshadow primer of all time. I use this up completely. It is just a really beautiful, smoothing, moisturizing, if that's a way to describe an eye primer. It doesn't accentuate texture or dryness on my eyes. It gives almost like a smoothing appearance to the eyes. It's a beautiful base for eyeshadow, and I did repurchase it just the other day because I had been using the Rare Beauty one and I hadn't been happy with it, so I went back to the Urban Decay one. So this one is not an empty, but I've used it a lot. I've used it for the past, I don't know, several months. I don't love this eye primer, especially when I feel like my skin is a little bit on the drier side. It just grabs onto lines and texture. It becomes quite dry and it dries down to a powdery finish. So if you have very oily eyelids and you don't have a lot of texture on your eyes, this might be a nice one for you. The other thing I do like about this is it does somewhat give a tint to the eyelid. So if you have discoloration or whatever, it will cancel out some of that. It's not super opaque, but it is definitely more color than the Urban Decay one doesn't have color to it. So I just don't want it anymore. It's not making me feel any younger than I am. Let's put it that way. All right, and that is it for this Empties video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on any of these products. Have you tried them before? Do you still enjoy Empties videos? Let me know down in the comments. I love hearing from you. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly, and I would love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.